Welcome to Shom Machshava on the Daf. We're holding a Menachos Daf Nun Ches. The Gemara in Amud brings the pasuk Yechol Ser v'Chol Devash lo Saktir Rimenu. You're not allowed to bring Ser, which is Chometz, and Devash, which is honey, to the Mizbeach. What is the reason that Ser or Devash, clearly these are two items that Torah says don't bring to the Mizbeach? So already the Mefarshim on the Chumash, the Askeni Balatosis brings that part of every korban is melach. You have to bring salt on every korban. And Ser and Devash are einam mekabli melech. They're the opposite of salt. And this connects beautifully with the Balaturim on the spot. Because Balaturim says the Yetzer Horah doimeh l'ser. We already mentioned that Chometz is a reference to Yetzer Horah. He says also honey, Devash, is motik lo'adam, kedvash, like Yetzer Horah, which is very sweet. And that's why they don't belong to the Mizbeach. And connected this to the Askenim, we know that melech represents shiflus, anava. Salt puts things down, it's low. So the Seir and Devash are the opposite of Melach, the opposite of the Tzuras HaAvodah HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Sefer told us Yaakov Yosef in Parshas Vayikru. He adds to it and he says that really you have a reference to two different Yetzer Horahs. Seir, Chometz, is the Yetzer Horah of Gaivo, of Isparus. A person feels very good about himself, like the Chometz, which is elevated. It makes the dough expand. And the Devash refers to another Yetzer Horah, the Yetzer Horah of a person looking for ta'anugim. Hamotok lechech is sweet. A person wants to just enjoy and indulge. So these two you should not bring to the Mizbeach. That should not be part of Avodas Hashem. But he says that's the Emshech of the Pasuk as well. The Pasuk says, Korban Reishis tekriv lo'yisov la'Hashem. That's the next words of the Psukim over there. Meaning in the beginning of the Avodah, a person could use the Yetzer Horah in Avodas Hashem in the beginning. Korban Reishis. But Mizbeach, once you get to a higher level of Avodah, then you don't bring these two Yetzer Horahs. You should get to the Lishma eventually. And a similar vein is brought down in the name of the Kotzker Rebbe. That Kol Ser v'Chol Devash means don't have Avodah Gasom Chatzer. A person feels very big, very strong. He's a great person. And now also because Devash, when you get too close, you feel so too hamish, like he says. The Avodah becomes very too sweet and enjoyable. These are two types of Yetzer Horah of Gaivo, of Azus, and Yetzer Horah of indulgement and joy. Both are Osir and Avodas Hashem. Taking this idea, we can take it one step forward and connect it to our Gemara. Because the Gemara tells us that the Gabi Seir, it should never go in the Mizbeach and should never be eaten, except, there's one exception, which is Shtei Alechem. Like Gabi Devash, you can't put it in the Mizbeach, but you can put it in the Shiyarim. The Koyanim can come and eat it with honey. Rav Tzadok HaKohen in his Sefer Resisi Lailo Yislam Dei, he comes to explain the pasuk that says, Ubo oivdi meretz Ashur, varidochi meretz Mitzrayim. So he says these are the two Yetzer Horahs. There's the ones that are going after money, after azus, after they're using all their power to do bad things. They're running after sror v'choved. That's what they're busy with. They're called oivdim. They're completely out. They're completely lost. And that belongs to Ashur, because Ashur, which is Edom, refers to that koyach of Yetzer Horah. They're running after covet, sror, and power. Then there is the Nidachim. Nidachim means they're not running after anything. They're just looking to enjoy life and to indulge. They have atzlos. They're lazy. They want to have a good time. That belongs to Eretz Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim is the place of Ta'anugim. So that's why the Oivdim belong to Eretz Ashur, but the Nidachim belong to Eretz Mitzrayim. These are the two Yetzer Horahs we mentioned. But says Rav Tzadok, who comes back first? Uba Oivdim Eretz Ashur before the Nidachim Eretz Mitzrayim. Why is that so? So Rav Tzadok says a big yisoid that when a person has a drive to go and do bad, he's driving, he's driven, he's running after things, then you can transform that drive from bad to good. But when a person is lazy, he's just looking to indulge, to take that and to make him into Oved Hashem is a much more difficult task to do. So therefore, when Mashiach comes, the Oivdim Eretz Ashur, the driven people, just driven to the wrong thing, they will be the ones that come back first before Anidachim Eretz Mitzrayim. So Himelia Shleima like this by us. Chometz, that represents the Yetzer Horah of Gaivo, of being driven to bad. That there is a place where it could be transformed to Avodas Hashem. As we mentioned the first year in the parak, that we come to Shavuos, then the whole world, it becomes Echol, it becomes Toiv. Even the bad turns and transforms to be good. So that's why in Shavuos you could bring Chometz. There's an aspect where chametz does belong to the mizbeach in a certain degree, in a reference to olam haba. But devash, which represents the indulgent laziness, that never belongs to the mizbeach. That never belongs to the ikar avodah. But you do have it by the kohanim. When the kohanim eat, when after they did the avodah, when they want to come and have the tainug, the enjoyment of the pleasure of the korban. So there it says l'moshcha l'gdula. Yes, there's a place for indulgence and hana after the avodah. So that's why we do find dvash in the shiur menachos that the kohanim eat. This is all based on the concept that the Seir Devash are a reference to these two types of the Yetzer Horah. Anyone who wants to join and sponsor the Shom Machshava Shiurim, please email shommachshava@gmail.com.